Welcome to Night of the Dead. I've had a few people ask me during the streams to create an electricity guideline. So I thought, okay, haven't done a how-to video before. Not really necessarily a fan of them, but I thought I would give it a try. So I've created a test world. I just finished the wave on day one. I brought in all sorts of resources. As you can see, research papers galore. All sorts of books, wood, iron, copper, sticks, branches, sorry. Not much stone, but we're not going to need a lot of stone, I don't think. Some electronic goods, brought some food in. I brought weapons in that are already level 10, but my character is undeveloped. So we're going to need to make some rudimentary items. The vines, there we go. And I think that's it for now. So we're going to start by making some stairs, a bridge, a couple floors, and a couple columns. I'll explain the bridge, columns, and the... I don't know where I've got everything yet. Okay. So... any of you who watched my stream for Wave 7, when you first start getting the log throwers, you know that they will take out your base, even if your base survived early on. You really need to have something set up by that wave, which is Wave 7. Now, I'm thinking that actually, let's just show something first. If I build like this, which we can, and I put that there, everything I can build all the way across. But let's say a log thrower comes up and he starts taking out, and let's say he takes out this stair. Everything above collapses, right? It's just the nature of the game. I hate wasting. So how do we avoid that? How can we still build up to try and protect the area that we're making? So the way we can do that is the way we used to do it, which is using columns. So if I come up, and this really isn't about electricity, but it's how we're going to protect our electricity. Put this as low as we can, get it so it's on the edge, and then we attach a floor to it, and we'll go back to snap. Oh, what I didn't say is when you're doing that, don't have snap on. Bring it up, places it down, another column, take snap off by pressing Alt. Doesn't have to be as low. I just like it low because then it's a little cleaner looking. And then again, just to be on the safe side, we'll put another one here. So this is the way I'd suggest you build your crafting area, period. So now if we come down and we take out, I'm only going to take out this one. We take this out. it stays floating. So it doesn't matter. I believe they can't throw 4 high. Okay. And then we can put a door up here if we want to stop them from running up. We're going to build out a little ways. And then I'm going to start putting. So I'll time lapse this. I'll put the basic workbenches and everything up here. Okay, so now we have our basic benches. So if we go in, we can see I have 0 research done. So the first research we need, let's go down and grab some research papers. Okay, so we've got research. This is the area that's going to let us to get into electricity. So we need to engineering, perhaps senior engineer. We need a book, polymer. If you take a look at the book, it says research facility. So we need to go to the research facility. Technician, mechanic, senior technician, veteran. We need organic electronic materials. Used to do research attained at the school. Master mechanic, we need internal combustion engines. We get that at the church, even though there's a typo there. Okay, so we can't progress further in that. The only other thing I'm going to do so I can carry more. And I don't have enough to finish that, but so let me go down and let me get the books so that we can go in. Okay, let's get Master Porter. Let's get these ones. So if we go back in, I now have the polymer which I picked up at the research facility. That's critical because we need to make fuses. This we only need to research if we want to leave the island. So junior researcher gives us transistors. I'm not entirely sure what those ones do. I haven't got there yet. Master technician and master mechanic. So we've got all of this. The other thing we're going to want to eventually do, so this is just basic electricity. Let's do our junior builders. Let me go grab more research. Okay, so let's get master builder. So we need architecture book, and we just get that from looting. So when you're in buildings and that, you will see different bookshelves. You'll get it from places like that. So now, in order to, we need the mechanics crafting workbench, and we are going to need the electronics workbench. So to do that, we're going to need tape. I haven't got any tape. I don't think I can make it yet. Nope, tape's hidden behind the second level of the crafting bench. So let me upgrade these as far as I can. And I'll be back. Okay, so we've got these upgraded. If we go in, we need tape, which we can do here. Second level. We've now got the tape that we want, and we can build this table here. This table will allow us to make different things. We're going to need to upgrade it. So we need a motor, electronics device, fuse, and a bunch of stuff, which we can make here. I've got it all down in the chest, so we'll just go down and get it. Okay, so we can upgrade this further. We won't need to, though, for what we're going to do at this point. So I'm going to expand out this way, and I'm going to put the exact same thing on the other side. We've expanded this out. Now, the first thing we need when doing electricity is a power source. I've never made the bike. We'll make it just to kind of see. So far, I've only used the wind generator. So we need a plug, a motor, nails, rubber rings, plastic, and iron plates. So let me grab that because we want to we'll put a couple up to begin with. So let's make 4. So we need 4 plugs. We've got 4. We need 60. Let me go grab everything. Okay, so we've got everything we need to build. And just to show you, you make the plugs here. So the plug takes plastic and copper wire. The motor takes copper ingot, iron ingot, plastic, and rubber ring. So that's all we need in terms of the electrical. The rest of it is pretty basic stuff that we would have had previously in the game. So you can see the spacing. You're allowed. So the reason I've made 4 is they generate a certain amount of power. Power generated 20. Now, I don't know if that is over a day, over an hour. It doesn't really specify. So now that we've got our electricity source, we need to store the electricity. So we'll need to make a battery. Now a battery, plug, battery, nails. So again, if we come back in here, plug, pretty easy to make. Sorry, battery, pretty easy to make. Plug, easy to make. All of it is just things that we would have had from our regular crafting tables. In case you're wondering, copper is made here in the ingot. You have to have it to 3rd level. Iron's made here. Iron wires, copper wires, everything's made here. And then we can scrounge rubber, loot rubber or plastic. We can also make them with the rubber pieces, and rubber pieces can be made with rubber resin, and plastic pieces can be made with rubber resin and fuel. So what do I need? I always forget nails. I can hear Scritty yelling at me. Nails! Okay. So one of the things to keep in mind is... Why did that do that? Is that we can daisy chain or link up batteries. So in order to do this, let's show this here. I need the machine table. Let's make the machine table. machine table. This will make our wire connected. It's also where we make the chainsaw. So anybody who's wondering about the chainsaw, where can you find it? You don't loot it anymore, you make it. So I already have a tool made. You know what? Let's just make the tool. It's also where we make electrical wire. So for each connection, it's going to take one electrical wire. We pull from and put to, we pull from green and put to blue. Pull from green, put to blue. So each battery now if I can get on the green from here, I can pull from that green, put it to that blue. So what's going to happen is you can see that's already started to charge. That charge will switch over. This one will charge first, and then this one will charge up. When we're on the tool, you can see the wires and all connections. When we're off the tool, there you go. So these are first level batteries. If we go in, it holds 15,000 maximum capacity of kilowatts, I'm going to guess. We can upgrade these if we make more batteries. So let's go over here and let's make more batteries. So if we do this, oops. Nope, we didn't need more batteries. I could have made another one. We can upgrade it. So the upgrade takes it to 15,000 capacity, maximum charge rate of 2,500. So what that means is we can have more things and bigger things. If we look into the charge, oops. Power generated 150, power generated 20, power generated 70, power generated 500. So if we had a generator hooked up to this battery, which is here, we could only have one generator hooked in. And as you can see, it's got 4 slots. So that would negate having extra positions. However, if we upgrade this and we need a pulse and a trans, hey, let's go get that stuff. Okay, so if we come over and we upgrade this, you're going to see the charge is going to go way down. And that's because this has 10 times the capacity that this one does. So you won't need these to start with. You can get away with the other ones. The next thing we're going to want, and the reason I've left this here is because we would be able to put more along here and add to it. So at that point we could start another daisy chain. Now, the batteries, we need a place to put the battery power in to control it. So we need a power controller. So we need a switch and a transistor, which are made here. Switch, transistor, and then we can put in the controller. Now this is a level 1 controller. What can it do? Turn off and on. That's it. That's all the level 1 controller can do. But we can have multiple power sources coming into this, so we can control an awful lot of power. Right now we control 500 kilowatts. We turn it on, it's 10 being used, and that is because the controller has a power consumption of 10. Nothing else has any power use right now. From there, we need to build an electricity circuit, battery eliminator circuit. And we go from here, oops, from green is out to blue in. Now we have 10 different circuits that we can run from here. And as we can see, we've now got twice the charge as we had before, which means we're probably at 30,000 units charged. So now what do? How do we distribute this? The wires have a 10 block. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you notice, it stopped. I can only go this far. Let me deal with this guy. By going this far, how can I expand? And I'll show you in a moment. Let me just deal with him. Thank you. Have it. Let's pick it up. So we can only go this far. How can we expand? We have wall extension sockets and floor extension sockets. If we put these down, we can then go another 10 further out. Okay, so how does that help us? Personally, I would rather have this as far away from my wave area as possible. You don't want to take, I wouldn't want to take a chance of having this damaged. For this purpose, though, we're just going to put some traps down there. So let's build some regular traps. In which case, we're going to need to build some trap machines. I am a fan of putting traps to start with on the ground, and I will explain why. The reason I like it is even more so now than previously. Is the zombies are just, oops, I don't want it that high. My apologies. The zombies destroy foundations faster and harder than ever. Well, that's full height. I want to go down 1, 2, 3 clicks. And then we want to put a foundation here. We'll put snap back on. That one. Yeah, that's the height I want. And I'll explain why I want that height. I want that height because you can parkour up to it. So we're going to put down a couple spiked floors. And any of you who watched Cage's video, he put a pendulum sideways on his base. And I know some people don't understand why, because they think the pendulum is wonderful placed correctly. And don't get me wrong, pendulum is one of my favorite traps, just simply because I think it looks so cool. However, anybody who has played the new game thinks, oh, well, we can just use a pusher here. And unfortunately, a pusher doesn't knock off bosses. Or what we refer to as bosses. They're not really. It's just the heavy. It doesn't knock off the heavy, excuse me, zombies. So let me get this built. I'll time lapse it. You can see what I'm doing. But we're going to put a couple pendulums sideways here. So we upgrade. We upgrade. Cool, I haven't actually seen what they look like. We upgrade. Oh my goodness, why can I not? There we go, had to jump down to target that. So they are now all upgraded. And if you look, we can now modify by putting something in there. So let's grab this guy. Hey buddy, come on, follow me. Come on. This is something that's critical. You need to see this. I do not believe they work. Okay, they do still work even without electricity. We have to reload with a cell though. Okay, rather than branches. They'll also keep a larger charge. As well, their HP is up, so that's like, okay, that's cool, great, wonderful. How do we get the wires from there down to here? If we go on the wire tool, we will see blue and green for everything. And we can see blue and green up there. How do we get it here? We have a 10 block limit. Okay, so interesting. The switch is not enough to hold it up. You have to put a light or something else with it. The switch is not recognized as being a building unit by the looks of it. So let's go up. So the first time I did it, it collapsed because there wasn't a building unit attached. It was just a column floating in the air. There needed to be something else attached to it. Oh. You'll find that these break down on a semi-regular basis. Let's take this. And again, if we take a look, we go outside, but as soon as we come back in, so let's go here and, okay, so we're too far away. If I'd really wanted to, I could have built the base around here. I want to be further away from that. So now that circuit is complete again. So we take a look, we can see all the wires. We go off, all of a sudden there's no wires. Everything's fully charged with the exception of that one. Now I think I turned the power off up here on the controller. Yeah, so the controller's off. So if we turn it on, you can see it's using 3,700 of a possible 5,500 kilowatts. And if we go down, So it's drawing 37, we're creating 8, so we've got more than enough power. Okay, so we're looking down there, I've put lights up, I've cleared it up a little bit. I've put a fence here, I think that's what they're called, aren't they? Yeah, I put a fence at the top. I also put a fence there just to stop them from coming that way. That should... Oh, look, an owl. The reason I put a fence is because I really dislike doors. They're hard to get open and closed. So I just do this. Okay. Oh. That's the wave. Took a little bit of damage. Lots of loot bags. So the upgraded traps seem to be a must. So we need to get to electricity as early as possible in the game, which means you need to get the one from the research building early game as quickly as possible. And I think that'll make a huge difference because the killing ability of these traps just seems to be so much greater. Okay, so we'll leave this one here. If you have any questions, if you'd like to see me try something else in the electricity playthrough, let me know and we can go from there. So, depending on where you are in the world and what time of day you're watching this, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night. Cheers.